or I should say welcome to Football Manager 20. I finally updated my game. It took me a while to get into the mix. I've been playing a lot of Football Manager 19, and I've uploaded videos in the past, most notably with Kaiserslautern, but I decided to upgrade the game and then try something different this time. I'm going with Palermo. I would start from the beginning, however, I recorded my first episode and forgot to hit record. So take two, and this time we're going to be a little bit further in the game. I'll go ahead and load up my game right now. I pretty much use my standard profile, which is myself. So yeah, when I load up the game, I chose Palermo because it's a fairly big club in as far as Italian soccer goes. It's not Milan, Inter, Juventus, Roma, Lazio, but it is a big, well-known club who've gone through a lot of struggles of late. They were in Serie A for many years. They've had crazy owners. They've got relegated to Serie B. They won Serie B. And then they had a big scandal there, which relegated them all the way to Serie D. And so now I've chose them to relift them back up to Serie A. So the team I chose, this is they go through a lot of hard times right now. Look at the club vision real quick just to catch people up on what I've gone through. So the 5-year plan that the ownership has given me is the ongoing vision is work within the payroll budget. There's not much money allotted to this team. If you look at the payroll currently, it's just under $900,000. It is not much. Back to the club vision though. End of this season, they want me to win the league and get promoted by winning the league. No impetus on the Serie D Cup. They don't really care about that. And really, over the next 4 years, the main goal for them is to remain in Serie C. That's not very lofty. I think I can get to Serie A in that time frame, but I'm not going to tell the ownership that because if I don't match those goals, they're going to fire me. So that's where we're at. The tactics that were told to me that were probably the best suited for this team was a 4-2-3. Necessarily play the 4-2-3-1. I like to play the formations I'm familiar with. The ones that I have uploaded that I've used it in the past reiterations of this game was a 4-4-2 diamond wingback formation I used mostly with Kaiserslautern. Did very well there. My variation of the 4-2-3-1, which is a gegenpress, and then the third tactic I'm using is a 4-2-4, also a gegenpress. I like to push the ball, try to get some goals. So you can see my formation right here. Really got two center backs that sit back. Then a midfield, really 5 or 6, really midfield 5, and then a trequartista with 2 strikers. My 4-4-2 diamond wingback is the attacking because I like goals. I want to push the envelope. In possession, I play very narrow. I like to pass into space. I like to use the wingbacks for overlapping, and I play out the defense and come up the middle and then distribute the ball from there. The tempo I use is an extremely high tempo. I use shorter passes. I do waste time occasionally when I'm up. At least that's what I hope for the team. And then in the final third, we like to work the ball into the box. In transition, I like to counter press. I really like to put pressure on the opponent. When the possession has been won, I like to counter immediately. It's typical of a gegenpress. You really put the opposition on their back foot. I really get them on the heels because they're not quite prepared, ready for the counter. When my goalkeeper has the ball, I like to distribute quickly, get the ball out of his possession to the playmakers to get the ball down the field. And as I mentioned before, play out of the defense. All right. And then out of possession, really, my defensive line is quite standard. It's not high, not low. But my offensive line, my forwards, they press very, very high up the pitch because I don't want the goalkeeper to distribute the ball to his defenders. I want him to kick the ball down the field where we can turn it over and then regain possession that way. I use tighter marking. As I said, prevent the goalkeeper from distribution. And then in tackling, I like to get stuck in, make those tackles, not necessarily stay on the feet, which could lead to yellow cards, but that is the risk I'm willing to take. So looking at the schedule, first game under the U20s, really what I was looking for is did the team understand my tactics and how would we do? Typically, when I play against my youth teams, I don't typically win those games very big. It's very small. Occasionally, if I have a really good senior team and then second division team or youth team isn't that good, we'll blow them out. But for the most part, it's pretty close. In this case, it was. In that game, we had something like 23 shots to 4. Here we go, 29 shots to 4, which is crazy. That means they understand my tactics. 12 shots on target. They only had 1, and we had 60% of the possession. So that tells me that they understand the tactics I'm using. And then familiarity. There's a lot of familiarity right now with my formation with the 4-4-2, which was surprising to me. But the real test would be against Watford, which will it's in a couple days' time. I'm really focusing on the tactics through the next couple of days, just to see what we can get on that end. This episode is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Sponsored? No, it's not. I wish. But if you want to sponsor, hey, by all means, please do. I would not complain. So what I noticed in this game in Football Manager 20 as opposed to 19, the assistant manager really likes to give his advice on team selection. And it's all fine and dandy with the players they chose, and I'm sure it's for a good reason, but I have the players I like to choose. I'll rotate as I see fit to keep the squad from rotating, but I also want to have the strongest team possible. So I typically ignore the advice from the assistant manager. No disrespect. All right, so here we are against in the match for Watford. My team selection, since this is a very low division team, I don't have many guys on vacation. Typically, when you have good teams and you're in like the first division, the Premier League, Serie A, whatever, many guys are on vacation or whatever. They're playing all these other teams with their national club. You don't have this problem in the lower leagues. So my starting 11, Pelagotti in goal. In defense, I have Lancini and Accardi. In central defense, and the wing backs of Doda and Crivello. In midfield, I have Mendola, Martin, and Martinelli, with the trequartista Rizzo Pina. And then up at top, Ricciardo and Sforzini. So that's a front 11 that I'm going to go with. Submit that team. Let's go. So typically in my games when I play, I like to encourage the players no matter what the assistants tell me. That's just something I like to do. It doesn't really affect what the players are thinking before the game. They're very even-keeled, but it seems to work for me, and so go with what got you there, right? So that's my mentality. When I play, I like to do it at a faster pace than match speed highlights. When we talk about match speed during the text only, I do it as fast as possible. Same thing in between highlights, and then when goals get scored, I like those highlights to be as fast as possible too as well. So this will be a big test against a Premier League squad. They're not the greatest Premier League squad, but hey, they're in the Premier League still. And look, they opened with a score in 8 minutes into the game, so this will be a tough challenge for my team. Can they handle a top division club? We're really a 4th division club, so this will be a good test for our guys. Okay, so going into halftime, again, trying to see what my team is like with formation, or with my formation. Do they understand what I'm trying to achieve here? And look like possession, we're actually out-possessing Watford 57-43. Not bad, though that's not a key indicator for me. Typically teams when I use this formation actually give up more of the possession, but they get a lot of shots. And that's what I'm looking for, shots on target, stuff like that. So shots 7-5, fairly even, a little bit of advantage for us, pretty good. Shots on target 2-2, so it's fairly even matchup. And this is again a Premier League squad, and we're in the 4th division of Italian soccer. So that's a decent result so far. Even though we're losing by 1 goal, we struggle for possession in the opposition's half. I would love to increase that, make that a little bit better. That's where you want to get some goals. That's where you're getting opportunities going. But for the most part, doing pretty well. So no real complaints for me. The assistant says the team's performance was disappointing. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say, let's keep it up. All right, second half we go. Something I look for in my teams is how are they responding. I don't care if it's preseason or not. A big pet peeve of mine is when they're not interested in the match. Complacent, stuff like that. So I have right now one player that's uninterested. So what I typically do is take them out of the game. So I got plenty of options to choose from. I'm going to go with the one that they're offering me, which is going to be Danilo Ambro. Go with that. And then look at any players right now. Strikers aren't playing that great. Ricciardo, I'm going to chase him with Lucera, excuse me. Change out the trequartista and put in Mario Santana, brother of Carlos Santana. Just kidding. All right, let's go with that. We score a nice goal by Sforzini off a corner kick, and you gotta love that. Go with a shout, give him praise. I always give praise after a goal, as it seems to motivate the team. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, this is gonna be a great result if it holds. Plenty of time to overcome the score line at the moment. We'll see. So the game ends 2-1 defeat to Watford. Kind of expected Watford to win. They are a first division team. They are in the Premier League. We are not in Serie A. We are in Serie D. So we're in the fourth division of Italian soccer. So really they should have beaten us. But let's look at the tactics, see how my team responded. Possession 58-42. That's pretty good, really, for a fourth division team. 17 shots to their 9. That's awesome. It shows my team is understanding my tactics. And they're imploring it. Shots on target, 6-4 in favor of us. Another great job by Palermo. Fouls even 2-2. So overall, I'm not too disappointed with the game. I know the assistant says tell the team the match is disappointing, but look at who we're playing. So I'm gonna tell the guys, don't worry about the result today. Preseason is just about getting your fitness levels up. So boom, the guys seem to respond well to that, and you go from there. What more can you expect when you're playing a team as good as them? So. One injury concern, and it's a minor one. It's a gashed upper leg, probably some cleats to the quads. Out for 5 to 11 days, no big deal. So that's great stuff by the guys. For the rest of the preseason, continue working on the tactics so they get familiar with it. It says right now, look at the training schedule coming up. They got to work on. Look at the mat. Let's look at the next week training calendar. So we just finished Watford, so next week the assistant wants to work on endurance, outfield, quickness, resistance before our next game. And then 2 games from now we're playing Olympique de Marseille, another strong opposition we get to test ourselves against. And again, in that week we're going against physical and outfield just to work on some stuff. But I'm going to be focusing heavily on tactics because I want my team to get used to the style of play that I want to play, and then eventually the rest will come with it, is my thinking. Right or wrong, we'll see. The season ends, we'll know, but as of right now, I look at the schedule. Winning our first game, a loss against Watford. I'm not too disheartened by that because, again, they're first division or fourth division. So onward and upward from that. Until the next episode comes, stay tuned, and we'll see you again here on Football Manager 20 Palermo edition.
Like I'm your sidekick, cause I watch TV, I see how life is, and it's not easy.